How to improve a text with AI? There are several approaches to this. A rather old-school approach is encoding rules such as word substitutions and syntax simplification. However, this approach has too many limitations, so instead of these rules, a mainstream approach nowadays is to use language models. These kinds of models are trained similarly to machine translation engine through showing examples but giving the model faulty texts and their corrected versions, thus teaching to translate lower quality texts into a corrected version. The issue with this approach is the sheer amount of special training data needed, which is difficult to obtain. Another approach would be using general-purpose language models where the text is rewritten twice. First by encoding the input sentence, and second by decoding it back again, generating a text with the similar semantics of the original. What happens during this decoding process? The text is getting normalized using a terminology derived by translation studies. During this process, models produce an output using the most probable word combinations for the target language and context. It can correct, for example, grammatical errors, as well as wrong collocations and unidiomatic expressions. Thus, the normalizing performed by the tool will let the sentence converge towards the norm. Giving the sentence, "While the world is changing, we're asked to do our best to make this change a success," to a multi-language language model with a task to translate it from a language to the same one it generates. As the world changes, we are challenged to do our best to make that change a success, the process being intralingual translation. Using this type of tool, you have to take into consideration that it can lead to semantic interpretations that were not intended by the user, since it does not take context or the communicative act into account. We cannot trust this or similar tool alone to rewrite an entire text for us, but combining the tool and our intelligence, it can support our writing.